My Saturn return kicked my ass, and I'm finally ready to tell my story. So real quick, a Saturn return is a major turning point in your life. If I'm being 100% honest with you, it's really like a make it or break it phase, because first of all, everybody does not make it out a diamond. So it happens around age 28 to 30, and it could be longer or shorter depending on how you deal with it. But typically it's like a 2.5 year cycle, right? But there's like a pre-shadow phase and like a post-shadow phase. So like it also depends on how you navigate the Saturn return, how long it can be. Because if you're not getting the lessons, if you're not putting in the work, if you're not making the actual effort to get up out of there, to change the whole like narrative, that thing can last longer. So it's shorter or longer depending on you. And again, I say it's like a make it or break it phase of life, because you'll notice at this point in age, you'll see a lot of your colleagues, people that you grew up with, really start to fall off or really start to take off. Like you kind of notice around like 28 to 30, a lot of people really get set in their ways or set into their careers or set into like the family lifestyle, or they really just start crumpling, like turn into dust, like literally just getting worse in life. Like it's really a make it or break your phase. Like either you gonna win or you gonna stay the same or you gonna lose. Like that's how life is. But like the severity of a Saturn return really depends on who you are as a person. Until you like really get through a Saturn return, you are a child. You're still a baby. You still have not reached maturity. And even if you do have a childlike essence, you still have not reached maturity because you have not gone through the phases. Are you really an adult? Because Saturn is really going to test you. So everything you should have learned is coming up to like a reassessment to make sure you really got it. Is you sure? So basically, who you are is going to be tested. How do you react is going to be tested. How do you think will be tested. How do you do with and how do you do without will be tested. And lastly, to sum it all up, everybody will experience a Saturn return, but everybody's Saturn return will not be the same because everybody's values are not the same. You'll be tested on your values and you'll be tested on your trauma specifically, because again, it has to be very specific to you because this is your life and this is how you navigate your life. So everybody's won't be the same. Everybody won't come out a diamond, and everybody also won't get tested as severely, but it's going to be a test severely to them in their life. But yes, every day is judgment day when you're in the Saturn return. So in a nutshell, it's exactly the universe's way of saying finish him. It's going to kick your ass right into adulthood. For better, if you listen, or for worse, if you don't. So now get into my story with my Saturn return. The first thing I need you to know is that before Saturn giveth, Saturn will taketh. So you're going to lose a whole lot. I'm talking about back-to-back L's. Back-to-back like mishaps. Back-to-back everything before you start to come up. But the thing I need you to know about a Saturn return before we dive in is that Saturn will take. But then once you get through all the lessons, once you like pass every single test, once you pass through every single phase, once you finally get to that exact level of maturity that you need to be, and they finally let up on you, they do come back with gifts. And we'll talk about gifts too, because whew, thank God the gifts came through, because all them losses I took, like I swear I couldn't take another loss. Like all them losses I took, I was like, look, I ain't got nothing left. And finally it was over. It's really at that point, it's like, I ain't got nothing left. Like that's when the blessings come in. So let's get into what Saturn took away from me. And I'm going to divide this up into 3 parts. So the physical things they took away from me, the mental and emotional things that Saturn took away from me. So first things first, physical. The first thing that Saturn took away from me was my job. Baby, ooh, it took my job away. I'm a Capricorn, like I said. My stable, my only main source of income, my bread and butter, like the thing that really was like the soul of my personality of like, oh, I got a job, like I got money, like, you know, something that kept my comfort and my stability together. My stability got taken away from me. So imagine how they went over. That was the biggest kicker. That was the real, that was the one that hurt the most. That's the one I was just like, oh my, that was the one that was gonna drive me crazy. So one thing I need you to know about taking away jobs, either you gonna quit your job or your job gonna quit you. I chose the route during that time to quit my job. And then thinking back on it though, had I got fired, it really would have made this phase a whole lot worse. But anyway, Saturn took away my job. My cushiony job, as my mom would kind of describe it. Like she always like, oh, you had a cushiony job because, you know, I didn't work as hard as she works. You know, she a nurse. You know, anybody like in the tech-like field or like aerospace industry, that's the industry I was in. I don't work as hard as a nurse. Like I'm on my butt. I'm not on my feet all day. I'm not dealing with people in that aspect all day. So my cushiony, safe job, as my mom would say, gone. I just tossed it over to the universe, gone. I was like, mm-mm. And my job was a really hard thing to let go because, you know, compared to like my hometown people, I had made it. Even compared to some of the co-workers and some of the people I went to school with in college, I had made it. Like, I was a 6-figure earner. But like, I don't know, like 6 figures in St. Louis and 6 figures in Atlanta, like the entry level 6 figures, it wasn't the same. Like 6 figures in St. Louis, you balling. You having your way out there. I was having my way. 6 figures in Atlanta, it didn't do the exact same that St. Louis do. And I felt that. I was sitting here like, damn, like, ain't got no money. And I'm like, I'm not living that above my means. I'm living like pretty similar to how I live, but how I lived in St. Louis, how I live in Atlanta, I should have just reduced like down half. The money just wasn't stretching. Like, I wasn't able to go out to eat as much as I wanted to go out to eat. I wasn't able to get my hair done, my nails done like I wanted to. I wasn't able to take vacations. And you know, my Tokyo content had went up. Like, that was a real major factor of like why I left my job. Like, I couldn't travel the way I wanted to at that job because it was a high, I don't know. It was like I did have a top secret level clearance. I wasn't using it at the time, but I did have a clearance level job, which required me to have so many different steps before I go out of town. I had limits on where I can go out of town and things like that. So like, it was cushiony, but it was restrictive. And again, money wasn't stretching the same. Like, I wasn't really like that happy. So one thing about Saturn is like, well, bitch, well, you live the first part of your life unhappy, you gonna live your second part unhappy? So that's the whole point of, boom, job crumbling, job took away from me. And then speaking of content though, like I said, I wasn't able to take vacations like I wanted to. I always anticipated my life as like someone who gets paid to like live and exist. And really, it was sitting around traveling. I get paid to go explore different cultures and like be around different people. Like, I love adapting to people. I love learning about people's cultures. I love learning like, you know, what did you eat growing up? Like, which I used to watch. Like, I love all of that aspect. So like, that's the first thing. I got a taste of success. My Tokyo content blew up on Instagram. You know, I don't really be on Instagram like that. But I had posted my content like in a series on Instagram. It blew up on Instagram before it blew up on TikTok. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, I'm getting the success that I wanted. So that's the first thing. Saturn will tease you with the exact life that you want. And I was tasting and I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready to dive all in. And like, one thing about me, I don't half-ass. I don't dip my big toe in and be like trying to fill the water out. I like went all in, all eggs in basket. I'm talking about I threw all the chips in. I bet it on $1 and a dream. I went all in and I did not recoup as fast as I wanted to. Let's just say it like that. So to bring it back in, Saturn took away my job, my cushiony job, my comfort, my stability, my foundation as an earth sign. That's very, very important to me. It's very important to me to have money and like stability and all that. Saturn took away my stability. But the reality check was the job had lost its luster. The job was very restricting. The job was not paying enough money like I needed it to pay, especially in the area that I was in and the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And ultimately, let's be real, I wasn't a fan of how I was making money. Like, I was making money, but like the way I was making money, that's just not my ideal way of making money. So boom, job crumpled. Yeah, it was just hella misaligned. Like, just, I can't believe I lasted as long as I did, but just know it was hella misaligned. Job gone. Number 2, friends. Saturn took away a friend that I didn't anticipate to lose. I couldn't believe the friend that Saturn took away from me. Cause look, I thought I can clean house, but Saturn cleans house, boy. I'm known to like drop a friend and like move on, be like, you know, we just like not aligned, we just not this and that. This friend, I did not anticipate to lose. And it wasn't even the fact that our relationship was like that close, that bonded for it to be a devastation. It was just more so of, I didn't see it coming. Like, of all the people that I thought was gonna leave my life or I thought I had to let go of, like, I wasn't anticipating that friend. I was like, well, damn. But also too, I had started a business during this time, and it's like really, really true. Like, you wanna know who your true friends are? Start a business. Like, they'll let you know. Like, that's not the main reason, but just sparing the details on that, cause it's not even that big of a deal that I lost a friend. You lose friends all the fucking time, different phases of your life, but It wasn't even the fact that I lost a friend. It's just the fact of in that moment when my job stripped away from me, I'm starting a new business, I'm in a whole new territory. I'm thinking like my rider's gonna ride. They gone. That sucked. That was devastating to me because I wasn't prepared. Also with that business being started, because I started the hardest business that you could start, honestly, truly, especially like when your money dwindling. I started real estate. You want to know who your real friends are? Get a real estate license. Start trying to sell some real estate. Do any type of business. You need to clean house, start a business. That's all I'm gonna say. But sparing details, the reality check about that was that friendship was hella misaligned too. Just like where I was going, where they were in life, and like how I navigate life and how I see the world, it was just hella misaligned as well. So it is what it is with that friendship. Number 3, my apartment was stripped away from me. And don't get me wrong, I made it to the end of my lease. So I didn't get kicked out or evicted or nothing. I made it to the end of my lease for sure. But it just came down to a decision of, do I stay or do I go? And they had raised my rent like $300, and I already didn't have no money coming in. So it's like, how I'm gonna do that? And I already was making ends meet with my previous price. So to go up $300 was crazy. I had even haggled the price down because I was so adamant on staying. I had even haggled the price down just a few dollars increase, but it came to like the hardest decision I had to make of like, do I stay or do I go? And I ain't had no money. So how I'm supposed to stay? And the thing I was doing to make money, I was like, I'm not gonna keep up with this. I can't do it. So like, the decision ultimately was for me to go home. Back to my small town hometown, a place I didn't want to be, a place I used to try so desperately to get away from. But the reality check here was, I ain't had no money. I had to go, and I at least had a home to go back home to. I had 2 homes to choose from. But the reality check here was, it was time to go home, back to my roots, to rebuild my foundation, because I needed to go back home to the place that broke me. There's a lot of energy that I had to transmute from the neighborhood, from the household, from the home environment. So the last thing that I physically lost was my apartment. So now I want to dive into the things mentally that I lost. So mentally, I lost my magic. So I felt. But I lost my magic. Like anything I wanted, I would just decide I want it and I would go get it and I would have it, literally. I used to go to college with no money in my account. Like I would owe a balance, but like I'd be like, I'm gonna get my balance paid and I'm gonna be back in classes. It's gonna be fine. And literally in 3 days time, I would have money on my account. I'm in classes, boom, we in school. Or for social media, I would have an idea. I'd be like, oh, boom, here's an idea. Boom, I'm acting on it. Boom, it gets traction. Boom, it blows up. Well, my version of blowing up. But like, it was like literally that easy. I think it, I want it, I would do it, and I would have it. It was like that simple for me. When it came to my Saturn return, after all them losses I done took, nothing was coming to fruition. Like nothing was flicking. My lighter was like, I was flicking the lighter, but no flame was coming. I was like, I should have a job within like a month or 2 or less. No job came. So 3 months. I'm like, I could have a job within like 3 months. You know, the market's hard. 3 months, nothing came. I'm like, dang, I ain't got a new job by now. That's crazy. And then I'm like, okay, here's my problem. I should have a solution to XYZ. Well, no solutions coming. Basically, I was aberrant, but nothing was cadaverant. And I just could not believe my results. I was like, where's the magic? Oh my God, like I lost it. Oh my God, I'm broken, devastated. I was devastated, I was. But the reality check here was, I need to sit my ass down and smell the roses. Like, I used to really operate in go-go energy. Like, oh, think, want, do. Oh, this. Like, I was not really ever that relaxed as a person. I was turned in my brain. I was turned in my actions. I wasn't in a flow state ever. I'm always thinking about, okay, what's next? I don't ever just sit down and bask in my glory, bask in my wins. I'm always thinking like, okay, what's next? Okay, I could have did XYZ better. My brain is always on. Like I'm always thinking about what I could have done, what I could do, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like it's never a point of like, yay, we're done. Yay, let's chill. Never that in my brain. So basically the whole point of this Saturn return and this reality check here of me losing my magic was sitting down and getting into a flow state. I need to be in a state where I'm doing nothing. Cause literally I had no motion going on. Do nothing, but I feel everything. Cause I never take the time to just feel. And then when you feel, you're in a flow state. Everything just happens naturally. It just comes and it goes, the ebbs and flows. I never felt those. But I will tell you real quick what I learned. I'll dive into that much later. But I did learn though, even when I think I'm not in alignment, I was in alignment. So like I used to do a lot of things. Like I'll dive into that later, but just know a lot of things I used to manually do and get prepared to do to see things. I didn't have to do all that. I had to learn that the world's still gonna go. Things are still gonna flow because that's the natural flow state. Like I don't have to manually put my hands on it to make things maneuver and do as much as I was. I used to get on here and talk about moon cycles. I used to always clean my apartment like head to toe and everything, and just like focus so much on like moon cycles. Oh, what's happening in the universe? What's happening in the planets? I used to like watch that so heavily. But when I pulled back and I was like preoccupied with everything else, I learned that everything's gonna flow as it should. My body naturally synced to the moon cycles. I never had to do all that manual labor and everything. So I'll feel a certain way and I get this little urge to like deep clean my home. I'll realize that, oh, it's a full moon. Oh, it's a new moon cycle. I never had to do all that because even when I thought I wasn't in alignment, I am in alignment. Same with Mercury retrogrades and just every single thing that I was following. Even when I think I'm in alignment, I naturally follow suit. Even still to this day, I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired. Like my body will naturally tell me to calm down, go to sleep, relax, go clean, go take a bubble bath, and it'll be right in cycle with the moons. So more flow, let's go. Next, mentally, I felt like I lost my sense of direction. Like who am I without my magic? Who am I without things coming to me with ease? I felt like I had a cloud in my brain, like the spirit of confusion. That's what I used to call it. I used to feel like I had a big old cloud of confusion around me. I just didn't know where I wanted to go, who I wanted to be. It's just like every single piece of me had fell off. I was like, who am I though? That's the point of, again, shedding skin, letting go who you used to be, letting go who you think you are, and being redirected to be aligned with who you really truly are at the core. I had to let all that go. So all my spirit of confusion, like, who am I? What do I want to do? Then I was like, what do I want? But can I have that? Should I have that? I was like starting to operate in like a permission phase of like, but can I have it? Should I have it? Okay, if I do get it, what's the exact steps needed to get that? Like I started losing like my rhythm. I didn't used to think that hard about what I should have and how I should get it. I used to just want it and then like let things just kind of line. But I was like, but what's the exact steps needed? I never thought so hard about certain things. In this state of mind, I was not a flower bloomed. I was rigid as ever, hard as fucking concrete, just confused, just lost, just like, I'm not sure. The reality check here was I was not in flow state ever. And I felt like what I wanted was not clear. Because had it been clear, I would be acting on it, I'd be getting it. So it was just like a whole lot of confusion because my mature self, my more advanced, more experienced, my more aligned higher self was trying to jump into the timeline, and my old self was like just not in alignment. It's like, hey, we're clashing right now. So reality check was I was not in alignment with who I wanted to be. And like I just started questioning myself so much because I never slowed down enough to ask myself these questions, like who am I, what do I want? I couldn't see it, I couldn't feel it. I just broke down literally to square one. And if you like really like dive in and look at people's lives, people who have made it and people who are successful, they'll tell you that like in plain language, you do what satisfies you. Like after you make all the money, that's what they're trying to tell you without saying it like this. Once you make all the money and reach all the success, what next? It's simply, oh, what satisfies you? What lights you up? Like what gets you up in the morning? Like what makes you feel good throughout the day and your day is coming? What about legacy? It's things like that. It's like, what do you do and why do you do it? That's what's missing when people just chase money and forget to like align with themselves. So it was helping me realign with who I am. What do I want? Closing out the external noise. It's simply like this. I do because I want. And it's always been that simple, but not for me. So spirit of confusion or realignment. Now I want to dive into the things emotionally that Saturn took away from me. So the first thing that Saturn took away from me was my independence. Again, so I felt I was living with others. So in living with others, my rules are secondary. Like that ain't my house. Like I can suggest all I want to about how things should go and what things should look like and how things should be done. But at the end of the day, that was not my house. So it ain't my rules. I was paying zero bills. Like, things I didn't like, I literally could not change. I could suggest all day, but I literally could not change them. When you're living with others, I couldn't even walk around naked. Like, I didn't like having restrictions. And I felt like I was living so much in restriction. I didn't like not having my pots and pans to cook in, because like, I'm not used to them other pots and pans. I'm like, dang, my junk was nice. Like, I'm not used to these pots and pans. Like, I just felt really confined, especially going from like a whole entire apartment to yourself, like around like 1,200 square feet, to going to one room that's yours and a shared bathroom and shared everything else. And then on top of that, the house that I was in was very dark. I used to like very lit spaces with like a whole lot of windows and everything. It was like a very dark space, very confined to the 1 to 2 rooms I was in. I just felt so confined, and again, so just restricted in life. But you know what? The reality check here was I was freer than I ever been. Like, I was free with time. I was free with energy. I was just free with just like everything. Like, I was freer than I ever been ever in my life. So I was not actually confined. I just was seeing it that way. But the kicker is, like I've said multiple times before, I used to operate very heavily in, should I do this? About every single little thing. Like, every single small minuscule thing I was saying, should I, could I, would I, like just asking, just like unsure about every freaking thing. Thinking like that, I operated in restriction and confinement on the daily life. So I was being reflected that back in my environment. Also, my financially too. When I was in a restricted environment, I got to see truly how free I was then. Even if I didn't have everything, because I used to always operate in a lack mentality. Even if I didn't have everything, simply having my own space to myself is enough. Like, at least I had peace in my own home. At least I had my own home. At least I had my own car. All that chasing, all that like, I need more. What's next? What's next? This part of me losing my independence, I realized how free I was. I realized how much the simple things in life mattered. And this phase of my life, and reality check here, was I started learning how to flex my gratitude muscle. Just being thankful for the little things. I was able to pay my bills as much as, you know, your girl was struggling with the money. I was able to pay my bills. It's a blessing to be able to pay my bills. It's a blessing to be able to come home and sit on the couch and like really do nothing. I might have had a hard day. I might have had a hard conversation, a hard point in time, whatever I was dealing with emotionally. Oh, at least I have somewhere to come and I have a roof over my head. I was able to really start seeing how blessed I was. Again, flexing that gratitude muscle. Gratitude is so easy. I struggle with like being thankful for the small things, being thankful for any fucking thing. I always felt I never had enough, so my gratitude muscle grew. The last thing emotionally that Saturn took away from me, on a more positive note, is my depression. I used to have bouts of sadness, isolation, just feeling like I'm not good enough. I always feel like I lack in something, and that's most likely where all of my hyper independence came from, or like my go I gotta keep reaching for the stars, I gotta keep going for this and like achieving something. I always had like a deep feeling of like lack of something, and Saturn helped heal me in this aspect and took away my depression, because I literally, throughout this phase, I was literally one with nothing. I was one with brokenness. I was one with isolation, not having people around me. I was one with my thoughts, my feelings. I was literally one with nothing. And then in that phase of being one with nothing, I realized that this nothing feels a whole lot worse than the nothing that I feel like I had before. I felt like, oh, when I had my job, I feel like I didn't have enough. I feel like that was nothing. Previously, when I had the job, when I had friends, when I had people I could call on, when I had things to do and things to like go spend my time with, I felt like I had nothing then, or not enough then. But the nothing that I was experiencing during my Saturn return, that nothing was real. That nothing was intense. That nothing let me know, like, the stuff I was complaining about before, it was very, it made no sense. That nothing I felt during my Saturn return was nothing compared to the not enough that I felt when I had a lot. And how this healed my depression is because the reality check here was I never lacked shit. I never lacked shit in the first place. I never lacked nothing. I had so much around me. even when I feel like I had nothing, like I was broke and everything, even when I feel like I had nothing, I had everything. And I'll talk more about that in the Saturn gifts parts. But let's move over to the climb and the beautiful revelations that I discovered on this journey. Now we made it to the climb. This section is all about how I got out of the depression, got out of the rut I was in, and how I got to the other side. Because the climb, so the things that were stripped from me was part of the Saturn return too, but the climb is the most important part because this is where you build character. This is where you discover who you are, but most importantly, who you are not. Because when you know who you are not, it helps you realign with who you are and what you're not gonna deal with. So yes, I named it The Climb because Miley Cyrus, The Climb song carried me through. Listen to those lyrics. Those lyrics always bring me to tears, but definitely during that phase and definitely like just remembering what I went through and all the emotions that I had to suffer through and all the emotions that I had to fight through and like build myself back up. That song did not get enough justice, but like it really described the whole process. Just feeling lost with no direction, your faith being shaken, but you gotta be strong. You gotta keep trying. You gotta keep your head held high. Like the song didn't get enough justice, but moving on to the climb. So the foundation I thought I had was ripped to the ground. So in a Saturn return, you rebuild from the ground up. And my vision was so narrow. I've always heard about ripping a vision to the ground or like rebuilding the foundations. I thought it meant like financially getting a new job and just like, you know, regrouping and like finding something else. No, I had to take it back way further. I had to rebuild the foundation from way back then, from my childhood. I had a really rough childhood upbringing. I had to go back home. Remember I told you I lost my apartment? I had to go back home to the place that broke me. That was home. That was my childhood. So home, as I recall it, was never a place of love for me. Like I didn't associate home with love. And it's just so many pieces of home that I disassociated from. Everything big I dreamt of my life was far away from home. It was way opposite where home was and way opposite of what home was to me. And just diving into that really briefly, I felt like home was stifling. Like a lot of people I go home and see from like childhood, I'm talking about like elementary, middle school, high school, they're still in the same place doing the same thing or they're doing worse. I didn't like that, or they weren't progressive at home. But also too, when I think about home, I think about all the mean things that went along in my childhood. How people didn't have my back, how people took the opportunity to shit on me when they had the chance to shit on me. And then I'm just like, wow, like I didn't really deserve all that. So I think of home as hurt. I don't think it's home as peace, as serenity, as a safe place. I think of like, oh, I hate being here. I want to go somewhere else. But because I'm in my Saturn return, because I had to go back home to the place that broke me, like I said, when I lost my job and like my apartment and I had to go back home and rebuild, no, rebuilding that foundation meant go back home to like childhood T, to like my inner child. We had to like really undo some things over there. And going back home, and I'm in a foundation rebuilding phase, home is where I learned how much love exists here. Throughout that entire phase, my family had my back. I never experienced nobody having my back like that in the way they did, like ever. 28 to age 30, I ain't never spent that much time with my family. I never had that much quality time with them. I got to learn their personalities. I'm talking about like there were days I was simply drowning. I'm like legit drowning, but they were like in sync with me. It was so weird because I'll be at my wit's end like, hey, I'm ready to go from this world. And I was just like, oh no, I just can't take it no more. I'm at my wit's end. And little small acts of kindness, bring me food, or just like simply sending me money, just, let me breathe this out. Simply sending me money just because. In the times that I really, really needed it, I didn't have to ask for it. They were just in sync with me because they're my family. That really carried me through. That really saved me. At the time, I was really at the end, ready to let go and be done with it all. They would come and lend a hand out. I was healing parts of myself that I didn't know was in pain. I didn't know my inner child was aching in that way until I had to go home and face myself. Quality time I got. Reassurance I got. Knowledge I got. People believing in me I got. Like, I really got to learn their personalities and like know what they like and know how much they actually really do know. Like, I didn't know them like that. See, people know this about family, but me at the age just 28 through 30, I was just now learning this. I never knew how much love exists in a household and how much love exists at home. Like, I literally made it this far. I'm gonna have to pause all through this, chop and screw this whole thing up, because whoo, my emotions. I literally made it this far because of them. And because of that, I can genuinely say I love them. Like, genuinely and truly say I love them. You know, you say I love you back out of like decency, out of expectation, but like I genuinely can say that I love them, and I never really thought about it like that before. Like, I never just like poured out emotions of like, oh, I love you and blah blah blah. If I said I love you before, again, it was out of necessity, out of expectation, something that you should do. Like, I genuinely say I love you now because I genuinely mean it, because I know them. They roll for me. I roll for them too, but I actually feel the closeness and connection of my family, and I never had that before. Because I grew up very isolated from my family because of, one, age gaps. I'm the youngest and like everybody's much older than me, like at least 6 to 7 years older than me. But location gaps, like my family on my mom and dad's side, like they live in different states and everything, like far away. I never grew up around cousins for real, aunties for real. Like, it was just always just me and then my immediate family, the little bits and pieces that I did get to hang out with them. And then also financial gaps too. So, you know, because of how we grew up, you know, financially, a lot of people were out working when we could have been spending quality time, but we had to work early. Like, I'm talking about age 16, as early as I could work, I'm out working. My brothers too. Like, we just never really got the time to spend together, learn each other, and just like hang out without any inhibitions. So I finally got that at 28 through age 30, just because I was broke and I was at the house and they was helping me out and taking care of me and spending time with me and getting to know me and just riding for their sibling, riding for their loved one. I didn't know closeness and bondness like this, except for like moments and times, not like a prolonged period, but just like, oh yeah, we're here for a holiday and then it's gone. I never got to experience that prolonged hang out and get to know and spend time with your family, the true closeness of family. But because of this experience, I now know that family is forever. Love is forever. Love exists at home. Family is love. Home is love. Like, I never ever had that experience in my life. And the way this cured my depression and the way that this rebuilt my foundation is because I now feel complete. I now feel like I know what love feels like. I know what love is. I know what closeness and just feeling like people got you is. I feel whole. For years, for my whole first part of my life, I was walking around half empty. I was never whole. Of course, I'm walking around half empty. Of course, I'm always feeling like I'm not enough because I was half empty. I was missing a key foundation of being a person or just like existing in this world. I was missing a key part, which is like my family, my home life, my childhood. Everything was just distorted. I was walking around half empty. Wonder why I'm attracting half-ass love. Wonder why I'm attracting half-empty people, or really mostly empty people, because I was empty too. I didn't know how much longing I had in my heart. I didn't know how empty I was and how unwhole I was. And now I just realized just how much I was just attracting, not even just like dating-wise, friendship-wise, just connection-wise. Everything just felt incomplete. Everything just felt unwhole because I was half empty, attracting half empty bodies and shallow experiences, because I had a lot of shallow experiences. Like, I had a lot of shallow understanding. That's the thing. So the climb was knocking away my foundation from way back then, from the beginning. That's inner child healing without directly saying inner child healing. But first thing of the climb was rebuilding what love, closeness, family, rebuilding what home life is, What is home? Home is where the heart is. I never knew what the fuck that meant. I know what it means now. So rebuilding my foundation, rebuilding my outlook, repairing some of my childhood traumas. So now my new foundation is built on love. It's built on support. It's built on completeness. It's built on knowing there's people out in the world that give a fuck about me, that care about my well-being, that want me to win. Before, I was just proving that I deserved to win and that I just needed to win. Like, I didn't know what I was aiming for. So my foundation is rebuilt off love, external love, internal love, self-love, and support. This is not in order, but this is like some of the revelations I learned throughout this climb. Like, they all kind of synced. It was a whole chaotic, like, encompassing of everything together at once. Everything all together, everywhere, all at once. You know that little title phrase. Anyway, the next one is about nature. So another way I climbed out of this rut I was in was nature. Nature heals all. And through nature is where I learned how much time is really in a day. I had nothing but time, but I learned how long it takes to walk a mile. I learned what a mile feels like. I learned all that in nature. My days were long because I had no job. I had nowhere to be. I had nothing to do. So I'm in nature, I'm walking. But also as I'm walking, I'm gaining mental clarity. I'm getting exercise, I'm moving my body. And what that did for my spirit and my soul, like, it was just very, very healing. So again, all this is centered around healing. So as I'm walking in nature, when I'm sweating, I'm moving my body. So like, as I was feeling sad, vitamin D is really good because the weather was great. Whether it wasn't good or not, whatever, the wind, the trees, leaves smell so good. The wind and how the trees sway. Like, I recognize all that. When I'm busy and I'm working, I'm hustling, bustling, you forget about all these little small things. But nature smells good. But I'm depressed in a dark space. I'm walking in nature and I actually could feel the sun kissing my face because I was that much in lack of vitamin D. Cause I told you I dealt with depression. But anyway, the sun feel good on your face and your skin. And it was like it was unthawing out all my anger, all my sadness, all my complacency. It was just like kissing it. You don't understand, y'all. Like, when y'all going through a tough time, the sun on your face when you had no sun in a minute just felt so good. So again, it was lifting my spirits. Also, it was getting my heart rate moving and everything. I noticed that my digestive system works better with, like, when I move my body and when I go on hikes and everything. So it literally helped stabilize my mood. And how it helped stabilize my mood, because, like, first of all, I wasn't hitting like 1 mile, 2 mile treks, just like taking like a quick little walk. I'm hitting like 5 miles. I'm getting it. I loved it. My dog loved it. But any sadness, any worries, anything I'm dealing with, it just kept like bouncing off. It's like, as I kept walking, as I kept sweating, as I kept moving, my mood kept getting lifted as I moved. Every step I took, my mood was getting lifted. And I talked about experiencing a cloud of fogginess or feeling like I had a spirit of confusion around me. I had so much clarity in the woods, seeing water, being around nature. It's like whatever cloud I had on me, it didn't exist in the woods. It didn't exist in nature. So like, I would go and walk and I'm like feeling better, like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is what I didn't like. Just replaying things in my head, even if I was angry that day. I'm talking about I had really intense moments to where like, I really wanted to like just run and like just not be here anymore. I'm talking about walking. I might be angry, talking about I hate all this shit. I fucked up. Oh, I messed up this. Like, I should never did this. Just having so much sorrow. The more and more I walk, one foot in front of the other, it just kept melting away. Even if all I did on that walk was talk mess and talk about everything I didn't like, it just felt so good to release. So nature was a very strong factor in me surviving this phase. I could have got swallowed up by my emotions. My emotions could have took over and got the best of me. And I could have left this world. Nature saved me every time. My family saved me every time. So this is very, very important in the climb because now I know, because I already started knocking my foundation away. I already killed my old self and made peace with my old self and made peace with like what things really are in reality. So I'm already like, okay, rebuilding out the foundation. What helps me recenter and recalibrate is nature. I'll go out there, any bad emotions. If I had a bad day, still to this day, I'm like, okay, I need to go for a walk. It helped me have another piece of serenity, another regimen that helps me stay stabilized. So even when work gets hard, even when life gets hard, even when I'm just having a rough day or just whatever, I know forever and for always, I can go move my body, get some fresh air, get kissed by the sun, get some vitamin D in real life, and get some mental clarity in nature. The climb. So, in expounding on the climb, the third thing I want to talk about is friends. Cutting a dead weight. Like I said, I cleans house, but Saturn cleans house too. So the friend that I lost, it wasn't even like a big blow up. It was like a mutual vanish from each other's lives. So I know her since freshman year, and just like recalling, we weren't that close and that connected because, again, just me taking some accountability here, I discovered that I operate as a half whole person. I'm not whole. I'm partially me and partially able to love and be emotionally available for a lot of people. So that wasn't really an issue with us because, given the type of sign she was and how she operates too, she's not very overly expressive and overly loving and overly mushy like other friends I've had. So we kind of had an understanding, but at the same time, it was just more so like an end of an era. Everybody can't go with you to the next phase. They say it like that, but it's also just people grow in different directions and people have different occupations. People live in different areas. People just got different goals. And I really feel like we just grew apart, honestly, truly. Things were just changing rapidly for both of us. And it's really no hard feelings. And I can genuinely say that. I used to be so butthurt about that. And I never reached out or did anything because I just had to kind of go with the flow. I had so much other things I had to just focus on or whatever. But it was the end of an era. And people truly just grow apart. And I'm at peace with that. I'm just at a point in life where I'm taking more risk. I got different goals. I don't want to just get comfortable in where I was because I ain't never been comfortable where I was and never will be. I don't believe in comfort. I believe in keep striving. But what I want from my life and how I'm going about getting it and where she was growing in life and where she's comfortable at, neither one of us are wrong with how we want to live our lives. It's just how things have to go. So again, me learning how to detach and let go and understand that everybody's not forever, but just because we didn't last forever don't mean I gotta hate you. That was growth for me because I'll be hurt. I hate you forever. You want to leave my life and you want to just up and abandon me? I got abandonment wounds. You want to abandon me and leave me? Boy, I'll be taking that junk to the grave. I'm gonna hate you forever. I'll be like, when I come up, better not ever come around. Or when I be having to push in the gym, I'd be like, oh, I'm trying to push harder for all the people who doubted me and all the naysayers. I be thinking about them type of people. But I have opened up my heart a lot more of understanding that things just come to an end. It's the end of an era. No hard feelings. That's the life she that's how she want to navigate her life, and that's what makes her happy. She should do the things that makes her happy. Just as I am aligning and doing the things that make me happy, I just feel so much more free when it comes to the climb of just letting people go. But for a long time, I held on to that hurt. Well, not just her, other people too. Just letting the figment, just letting how they view me and how they see me, just kind of rule my world. I let it go. So in this building block, that's what I'm calling these, because the foundation is the first building block of the climb. The second, nature, is the building block of the climb. The third one is detachment of friends. In this building block, lightness exists here. It is what it is. If we realign in the future, cool. Just like with old friends, if we realign in the future, fine. Me, before my Saturn return, would have been like, you gonna rule the day over my dead fucking body. I'ma stunt on bitches to the fucking end. That's kind of heist to think. But now I'm just like, again, lightness exists here. I ain't never had a light heart, but that was very lighthearted of me. I'm a Scorpio Venus and Scorpio rising. Yeah, lightness don't exist here. Like, I be, a grudge gonna be held, but I'm just like, you know, namaste. Love and light. I ain't never been so love and light, but like, it's just like, yeah, cool. Last one. The last one's my absolute favorite of the climb, because this is where my real magic exists. This is like my true magic. Like, all that, oh, I thought I lost my magic. Oh, I had a spirit of confusion. Oh, this is my magic that I always had, and I had to rediscover that I had. I had to rediscover what the actual name of this was. I was like, it's my magic. It's just like what I got. No, this is my skill set. This is my superpower. My superpower and my last building block of the climb is called audacity. Audacity is a secret weapon, and people mistake this for confidence. But let me break this down for you real quick. Confidence is like knowing who you are and what skills you possess, and being confident in those skills and leading with those skills that you gonna get something. Audacity is saying, I know I ain't got this, but I'm still gonna move forward. I might not be fit as fuck, but I'm still gonna be a model. Like, it's Delulu to it's true. It's fake it till you make it. Audacity is literally, I know I don't have the tools, but I'm leaping anyway. I know I ain't got the tools, but I'm gonna find them on the way anyway. I know I ain't got the skills. I know I ain't got the confidence. I know I ain't got the look, but I want it. So I'm gonna go get it and I'm gonna have it. That's literally always been the skill set. That's literally always been the magic. This is the shit that people have that are powerful. It's not like, oh, I did X, Y, Z, and that's why I got it. It's audacity. Audacity gets you further than anybody. Audacity will take you from broke to rich overnight. Confidence will have you taking steps by step to get there, one foot in front of the other, the tried and true way. Audacity makes you take leaps. Now you gotta ask yourself, when you in this phase, do you wanna take leaps or do you wanna take baby steps? Little frog steps. Or you wanna take little baby steps? Little pitter patters to the goal. Or do you wanna take leaps and bounds and jumps and frog hops to the goal? Audacity does not play it safe or sure, it just goes for it. But yeah, audacity is what I tapped into to clear my money problem, to clear my home problem, to clear all my problems. Like, let me tell you the biggest user of audacity. Y'all know that president y'all got, Donald Trump? Who do you know that could become president without no political background at all? No college, no university, no relevance to the political world at all, who could become president? That is audacity at its finest. And the way he dealing with the war and how he deal with everything, he operates directly off audacity. And do you see where audacity got that man? That's the best example. It's so many other examples, but like, that's the most drastic and most crazy example I could think of that lets you know audacity is the key to life, because there's no way that what's happening right now should happen. But audacity, like I'm telling you, it helps you take leaps where others would have taken steps and got there way like lower than you, way slower than you. But anyway, audacity is the key. It's the magic that I thought I lost, but I did not. So basically the whole thought process and how we line back with that is, I dare dream, I dare do, I dare have. Like, literally that's what audacity is. Literally that's all I'm operating off of. I dare do, I dare think, I dare do, I dare have. And it's really that simple. Cause like, all that time I spent complacent, I got nowhere. And I went nowhere. And I got nothing. When I pulled that audacity out my ass and got off my ass and start operating like I know I need to operate and doing things how I know I should, or not how I should, because we trying to get up out of that. When I start doing things in a way that Tiana does it, that Tiana thinks and sees fit, things should start moving, boy. Things should start taking off. I'm talking about, like, there's a number I wanted to hit monthly. Secured it, got it. Actually, I got over that amount, but secured it, got it. Because I dare dream, dare do, dare have. People call it, I know we're in the phase of rebranding things right now, but people call audacity the Lulu to the true. People call audacity being whimsical. Do more whimsical things. Or like just like, you know, just kind of like doing things for the plot. That's audacity. You just doing shit just because, trying to see where it goes. That's audacity. Everybody's telling you doing the same thing in different like fonts. Audacity is the motherfucking key point. Let's talk about Saturn's gifts now. Let's talk about after I got through all that, because like that was like 3 years and some change. Like that was heavy. You understand? Like I was sad, depressed. I was gonna leave this world. Let's talk about the gifts. Because Saturn taketh, but Saturn also giveth. The gift part is fun. As a Saturn baby, the gift part is fun. Okay, now let's talk about Saturn gifts. Because once Saturn taketh, and you go through all the lessons and blah, 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 Saturn shall give it. Let's talk about what Daddy Saturn gave me, specifically. Number 1, income increase, baby. Without going into too many details, because I want to keep that part of my life separate. That liberty ass money I was making before, I'm making better money now. So the money I made before was good. Like when I was in corporate and doing all that stuff and I had left that job, that money was good, but the money I make now is great. The money I make now is great. So like I went through a lot of hoops though. Don't think I just came out on top. Like it took me, as I'm going through all this, I'm still trying to find my way and trying to figure out like what it is that I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna make money. And the main part that was misaligned in the first phase was I didn't like how I was making my money. I didn't like how much money I was making. And it was mainly the how, not truly the what. It was the how. I didn't like being confined to one space. I didn't like having to ask for permission to go out of town. I didn't like being restricted because I had a security clearance and things like that. But yeah. Oh, I didn't like being restricted on certain travel because you can't take too many international trips in like 1 year or so, or like a period or something because it looks suspicious and everything. I didn't like having to report back after I got from out of town or out of the country. It was just too much. Now I'm fully autonomous. I could be anywhere at any time to make money. That's the main thing. I don't gotta report to nobody. That's another main thing. And I just have the most freedom that I want to have. Like I'm just a lot more happier. So after I made it out of the trenches, baby, the gift was realignment. So I'm not worried about bills. I'm not worried about can I pay bills and go out and get my hair done and go out and get my nails done. Hair's done, nails need to fill in, but they're done. And I can still go out to eat when I want to go out to eat. And then also I can put money towards vacations when I want to put money towards vacations. So that's the gift of Saturn without going into details on what I do, how much I make and whatnot. But I am much, much happier. I'm much, much more suited for this way of making money than I was in the other one. Oh, one more thing I want to mention too though. I hated how I had to be confined to my computer. So in my previous job, I didn't have email access or IM access on my phone. So I literally had to be stuck at the computer or near the computer, like literally chained by like, oh, is somebody gonna hit me up? Is somebody gonna hit me up? So now if I wanna go take a quick walk to Starbucks or a quick walk to somewhere, I ain't gotta worry about missing nothing because I have access to people wanna reach me on my phone. Boom. I like how I make my money. I like how much money I make and I like the how. That was the missing pieces before. Second gift, my apartment. It's an upgrade. Okay, so first of all, my last apartment, it was cute. I ain't never had an ugly apartment. Like one thing about that, like my home is very, very important to me. My home is very curated to like who I am. My last apartment, I love that shit. I ain't gonna lie. My apartment I had in Buckhead, I loved it. Loved it down. Everybody who came over, they loved it down. I loved the parking, I loved all that. But this apartment, this one is in a different area, but it's walkable. Because once again, you know my little rough phase I had, my little Saturn return phase, I was very much so confined, very much so away from the city. I had to drive everywhere. I couldn't go everywhere I wanted to go. I couldn't walk to where I wanted to go, basically what I'm trying to say. Now I'm in a walkable city, a walkable area. My apartment It still has the same flair as my other ones, but it's also given more elevated, more sophisticated, more grown woman era because I'm finally grown. Like I done made through my Saturn return. I'm grown. Like it don't get no growner than this. Like I'm grown officially. I done went through a lot. Baby, I am mature. I hate that fucking word. You know how people like trying to sound all smart. Oh, she's mature. Bitch, I'm mature. For the most part. I mean, I still got like my little childlike flair and everything. I'm always gonna have that, like, you know, it's just who I am. But like, I am mature now. I'm a grown woman. So my apartment gives sophisticated. It gives grown women. It gives elevated. It's mine. So after going through that phase, get my money right. I got my lifestyle and my home life right because it's very important to like how I feel. Got all this space because trying to bring all my stuff into like one room, well 2 rooms I had over there, but I had most of my stuff in storage. I miss my couch the most, y'all. My dog is sleeping, but I miss my couch the most. I used to go to my storage and hug my couch in storage because that's how much I missed it. But don't get me wrong, I don't take this for granted because once again, in that phase, I learned that even when I don't have enough, like let's say I'm trying to like stack and I'm trying to save, because I like to keep a certain amount of money in my account at all times. I hit a certain number at minimum. But even if I have to say no to certain things, like let's say I do want to skip out and get my nails done, or skip out on like going out to eat, or not going on as many trips, I still have my gratitude muscle that I flex on. At least I have somewhere to lay my head. At least I get to sit home and watch TV because I missed my TV so much, y'all. Y'all, I missed my TV so goddamn much. I love having a TV in the living room, a big 75-inch that I put in work to get that in St. Louis, okay? When I was in St. Louis, I put in work to get this TV. Like, I can't believe the deal I got on this TV. Like, it's my prized possession. I love this thing. So, at least I got a roof over my head. If I can't go outside, if I can't do nothing, I can sit at home and watch TV with the bills that I pay for to have them on. Other gift that Saturn gave me, this is my favorite gift that Saturn gave me. Like, the money, the apartment is cool. My favorite gift that Saturn gave me is my family. I never knew them in that aspect. Like, I love them. I told you, I genuinely love them. Like, they got my back. Matter of fact, I call my brothers more than I ever called them in my life. And that's crazy. I be hanging out with them. I be going on like little trips with them. Like we went to Tokyo together. Like, they ain't used to know me like that. They used to kick it with me like that. But I got my family. I be hanging out with my mom. Like, she's like a homegirl now. Like, before she used to be my mom and like this little warden. Because my mom, we ain't gonna go into details like that. But that's my friend. That's my homegirl. But they believed in me. Like, they just really had my back. They really changed my idea. Not changed my idea. They restored and repainted the idea of family that I had before. So I know no matter where I go in this world, no matter where I am, my family gonna ride for me. My family supports me. My family appreciates me. I know what love is. And I say love and I say all that stuff openly because of them. Because of how they showed up for me and how they rallied for me. Like, they just, I don't think they even have an idea of how much they have healed me. Like, these my people, my support system, my loved ones, these my kin. I'm so loved, and I know that. Saturn, Daddy Saturn, baby, you did that. And lastly, the gift that Saturn gave me is a clear path. I literally dug myself out of a pit. I literally dug myself out of a hell. I have always known that people can walk a mile in my shoes. Like, knowing my childhood and everything, how I used to walk around unwhole, I pulled off what some people would deem a miracle. But it's a journey and it's an act that only a true alchemist could pull off. It's a journey that many successful people have endured and have conquered and won. And that's why success looks so good and sweet on them. They went through this hell. They went through this ugly pit, this ugly phase, and they fought. And they fought and they got to the other side the side that they wanted, the side that they deserve to be on, the side that they wanted and pictured so bad. This side and success feels so, so good. And I say I have a clear path because of the Saturn return, I have this whole journey to look back on. When things get hard, whatever thing that gets hard, that people think is hard or that I think is hard, I have this journey to look back on and think like, if I got through that, I can get through this. Just like what I'm doing now in my daily life, or like just little small things small little hiccups that come up. If I got through that, I can get through anything. And you know what kind of confidence that is? Because that's confidence. It's not audacity anymore. That's confidence. It's like, I know I can and I will. And that's another thing. I guess that's another gift that Saturn gave me. It gave me confidence. So my final thoughts on a Saturn return. If I had to do this all over, would I? Fuck no, I wouldn't do it all over. But here's what I gotta say. Was it worth it? Yes. And through all the lessons I've learned, I do feel more mature. I do feel more myself. No, it's a reason why people say you feel better in your 30s. Because one, first of all, I be looking back on old pictures, old videos when I was doing content creation. I look better in my 30s. Like, I was cute. I ain't never had a problem like getting attention, but I was like, in my 30s, I feel fine. But in my 30s, I have a different type of radiance because I done made it through hell. And I got money to do things I want. Because in my teens, and my 20s, my money wasn't like this. Except for like my other corporate job. It was cool. It was straight. But my money wasn't like this. My experience wasn't like this. My boundaries weren't like this. My detachment. Because, you know, I used to be holding on to people way beyond its shelf life and its expiration date. My detachment is much better. My goals and how confident I feel, much better. Girl, this grown woman, wait, much better. So it's a reason why people feel better in their 30s though. Because we done went through hell. We done made through that like make it or break it phase. Again, if you look around your 30s or look around to people in their 30s, either they doing horrible or they doing great. It's because of the Saturn return. Either you gonna win or you gonna just disintegrate. But yeah, I just feel more me. I feel better. I feel actually younger than I ever felt in my life. Like back then, I used to feel I had so much just weighing down on me. Yeah, I just feel so free. I feel so alive. I feel like I'm born anew. And I am thankful for Daddy Saturn. Like Daddy Saturn be showing its ass in my life all the time, but I can't believe how much it showed its ass 28 through 30. But like I just feel today Tiana feels good. Today Tiana is grateful. Today Saturn is the best thing that ever happened to me. And in general, now normally I would say I would only wish this on my worst enemy. But like here's what I feel about that. I know the saying goes differently, but knowing what I know now about a Saturn return, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy because I know the gifts that come after the thievery. After you lose everything, I know the gifts that come after the shadow. I know the rainbow that comes after the rain. I know the pot of gold that comes after you've been digging and you've been down for a while. I know the pot of gold. And I wouldn't wish this win. I wouldn't wish this success. I wouldn't wish this renewal on my enemy because I want my enemies to suffer. I want my enemies to like just never ever prosper. At least never prosper better than me. So I would never wish a Saturn return on my worst enemy. But I will wish it on you because I know you're strong. I know you're capable. I know you want this glow. I know you want to get to the other side. That life that you want on the other side of the Saturn return, I know you want to get to that rainbow. I know you want to get to that gifts part. So I will wish a Saturn return on those who want more, who want better, and who want to rock the next phase of their life. So with that being said, Tiana out. I hope this helped you. You got any more questions? Drop them down below. I answer everything that I know about a Saturn return and how you can make it through and just ways to just make it a lot more manageable. So yeah, talk to y'all next video.